Hey guys, I'm Chris Langer, and today I will be discussing the endocrine system with you. So the endocrine system is a group of organs that control hormone release in the body. So with that, you have the pituitary gland, the pineal gland, and the hypothalamus, which are all located in the brain. You have the thyroid, which is located in the trachea, the thymus, which sits kind of on top of the heart, the adrenal gland, which is part of the kidneys, the pancreas, and then you have your genital glands of the ovaries and testes. So the way they function with the pituitary gland, that's often called the master gland, it controls a lot of the elements of the endocrine system. So it lets your body know which hormones to produce and which ones to inhibit, and kind of keeps that in a balance that's healthy for regulation. So with that, you have the hypothalamus, which is the main connector between the nervous system and the endocrine system. The hypothalamus sends its messages to the pituitary gland, which then in turn controls those other gland functions. And so also in the brain, you have the pineal gland. It's controlled by light and dark cycles, and that helps produce melatonin, which helps regulate your circadian rhythm and your sleep cycles. So as we move down, we have the thyroid. And so the thyroid is involved in metabolism, growth, and homeostasis. So one of the main hormones produced by the thyroid is HGH, or human growth hormone. So that without that, our bodies don't have the hormones necessary to repair itself and to grow. So with the thymus, that's actually part of the endocrine system and the lymphatic system. So what that does is it helps signal the production of white blood cells. That's important for fighting off diseases and infection. And as we move down, again, we have the adrenal gland that sits on the kidneys. So the adrenal gland, that's important for metabolism, immune system, blood pressure, stress response. And so with the blood pressure and stress response, that's actually part of the cortisol hormone that releases. It helps regulate blood sugars, the availability of blood sugar to the brain, and it helps with the fight or flight response. So next we have the pancreas. This one's an important one. The pancreas is the main system, or the main organ of blood sugar control. It releases insulin, which helps carry sugar throughout the bloodstream. So with the lack of insulin, you have diabetes. With too much insulin, you have diabetes as well, because the sugars in your bloodstream aren't regulated. And then you have the two reproductive organs. You have the ovaries and the testes. So the ovaries, their main hormone that they release is estrogen and progesterone. And then on the opposite end, you have the testes, the male reproductive organs. And then with that, you have the release of testosterone. So a couple of risk factors with the endocrine system, stuff that could damage it. You have stress, infection, electrolyte imbalance, poor diet, elevated cholesterol, inactivity, medications, pregnancy, trauma, pretty much just unhealthy lifestyles. It throws everything out of balance, kind of like with the pancreas and diabetes. You know, if you're taking too much sugar in, your body's not producing enough insulin to carry that, then, you know, that's no good. All right. So for age-related changes with the endocrine system, there can be hormone level decline. So your body's not producing enough of the hormones that it used to produce. You have hormone receptor sensitivity decline. So the receptors for those hormones, they don't really attach anymore, and they don't recognize them as well as they used to. And then metabolic rate decline. So just your body's inability to metabolize and effectively use those hormones that are being released. So a couple of common system disorders of the endocrine system. We have diabetes, as I've mentioned. That is your pancreas isn't producing enough insulin, which means you can't carry those sugars properly throughout your body and through your bloodstream. We have Cushing syndrome as well. So that's controlled by, or that's caused by the overproduction of cortisol, which is in the adrenal gland. So when that happens, you can get fatty deposits on the back, midsection, shoulders, kind of hunchback, and that's a common one. And then another one that we have is prolactinoma. So that is caused by the overproduction of prolactin by the pituitary gland. So prolactin is responsible for producing breast milk in the mammary glands. So if you have a prolactin overproduction, you can have random swelling and tenderness in the chest, milk production, and stuff like that. And so when caring for people with endocrine disorders, as a nursing assistant, like with anything else, it's just most important to recognize changes in the patient's status, checking vitals and their just overall general health and condition, and reporting that to the nurse in charge or whoever you're under, so they can get that next higher level of care to get that back under control. So that's the endocrine system for you.